What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a side-by-side comparison video of the original SpinTires on the right and SpinTires MudRunner on the left. Now, the reason why I wanted to compare these side-by-side is because I wanted to really see, I wanted to show you guys, and I also wanted to see for myself, really how far the game has come. And I think the biggest differences that you see are in the style of the atmosphere, number one, and also the detail of the ground and the water and the mud itself that you drive through. I mean, even the canvas on the top of this UAZ, you could see there's a little bit more depth and a little bit more detail in that canvas itself on the top. Now, as you drive, I think you also notice in SpinTires, the original SpinTires, there's a lot more texture pop in. There's a lot more, you can see the trees popping in and out as you drive. MudRunner, you still get a little bit of that, but it's not quite as bad. And keep in mind that these are both running at their maximum capacity on PC, so there's really no discrepancy as far as settings. These games are both running as far as they can go. So also the interior view in MudRunner actually really helps with the immersion factor, I think, and it definitely adds a bit of challenge for anybody that might want an added bonus in terms of making the game a little bit more difficult if they're finding it particularly easy, or if they want a little bit more realistic experience, especially if they're playing in hardcore mode. Now, personally, for me, as I watch these games side by side, it really shows me anyway that the series has been. It's more of a MudRunner is more of a evolution of the game rather than a revolution or a total redesign or anything like that. I mean, and that we kind of knew anyway. But when you see them side by side, you really do kind of realize the differences and the changes that they've made. One of the biggest ones, in my opinion, is the water, because if you see over on the right in the original SpinTires, the water, it looks good, it looks decent, but nowhere near as good as the water in MudRunner does. And I really wanted to get a side-by-side shot of water, but I was trying to time these two together, and it was really tricky to time them. But anyways, the thing is, also, the quality of the grass and the trees and everything like that in MudRunner is so much better, yet MudRunner runs so much better. And that was one of the biggest issues with the original SpinTires, is it was not optimized very well. It really wasn't. It even on PCs that were, where it shouldn't have had any issues on, sometimes it would run not so well. Whereas MudRunner, dude, MudRunner, you could slap it on any PC and just go. And I think that's a huge deal, because they've really taken the time to kind of tune the game, if for lack of a better description anyway, to kind of like tune the game's, tune the game's optimization and just really make it feel a lot better in terms of how it plays and how it runs, really, because it runs so much smoother now. And I think too that MudRunner is a little bit more, almost in a way, it's a little bit more inviting of a game, because they have the challenge series, and then they have the little tutorial at the beginning. The original SpinTires, you're kind of just dropped in, and it's like, here you go, don't die. You know what I mean? It's like, here you go, do your thing, and don't get stuck. Right? That's pretty much how the very first SpinTires worked. Whereas MudRunner, I wouldn't say it kind of eases you along the way. I mean, it still drops you into the wilderness and, tells you have to survive. But at the end of the day, they do explain the whole world to you a little bit better. They explain the world of the game a little better, and they explain how everything works with a little bit more depth and a little bit more clarity. Now, something to think about if you really want to be impressed with how far the SpinTires series has come, is to think about the days of the tech demo. And if you've been on my channel for a long time, you'll remember when I used to do videos on the SpinTires tech demo, and there were people that would mod the tech demo, and there are people that were making mods for the tech demo that are now making mods for MudRunner. And it's really awesome to see that community get started in something small like an indie tech demo and then progress all the way down to what we have now, which is a pretty big, robust community that revolves around this game and this series. And I think that's really awesome to see especially when you look back at the history of a series like SpinTires, I think it's really awesome to see the evolution of starting in a tech demo that they were trying to push and that they were trying to get out there, and then now it's one of the biggest off-roading games, especially if not the biggest realism focused off-roading game, in my opinion. I mean, there's really no other game like it still to this day, and in this day and age, that's very rare. A lot of games in this day and age are very similar, and they kind of feed off of each other, whereas SpinTires has really discovered a niche all its own, and really and truly just dominates that niche. So I wanted to show the intro tutorial sequence to Mud Runner here just a little bit, because if you haven't played the game yet, this is what you get directly in the beginning, right? This is what you get when you first start up the game. Before you even get to the menu, you get a full tutorial that leads you through the basic mechanics of the game. They teach you how to winch. They teach you how to use your all-wheel drive. They teach you how to use your diff lock. They teach you the basic mechanics of how not to get stuck, because these are all very important things to go over when you're learning how to play this game. And I think that this tutorial sequence right here, I think that it really gave a good start for players that are new to the game, because especially, like, man, you talk about an intimidating experience, like jumping into the tech demo for the first time years and years and years and years ago. That was one of the more intimidating experiences that this series has ever offered, and even jumping into the first game for a totally new player can be kind of intimidating, but this really gets everything across, puts everything out there across the board and shows you pretty much exactly how it all works. And by the way, the fact that they show how the fuel or fluids or whatever kind of slosh around in the barrels or in the fuel tanks or in like the tanker trucks, that is really cool too, because that you can almost see, like, if you're at the edge of a cliff and you see the fluid trying to slosh more and more to that side, you either know when your truck's going to go, or you know how much time you have to attach a safety winch or something like that. So that, in my opinion, was also a really, really cool addition that technically didn't need to be there, but I really like the fact that it was there and the fact that they took the time to put it there. And I think it means a lot to the game and a lot to the players and a lot to the series that they will take that extra time to put things like that in the game to really kind of show that, like, hey, we're working on these little tiny details here and there, but we're also working on the main game, and we're working on making it more accessible, but we're also working on making it more challenging to the people that want it to be more challenging, like, for example, the people that play it in hardcore mode. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like, tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see y'all next time. Talk to you guys later.